Bad guys. Soft work. I've been in D, you will know when we handle it. They say we the show gun, it's a damn habit. We no struggle.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chisom, and for those who don't know me, I'm a YouTuber who focuses on lifestyle and beauty. Today's video, I'll be doing an updated winter makeup routine. This is my everyday winter everyday makeup routine. It's an updated version because I have posted one before, but I decided to update it because a lot of things have changed on the way I do my makeup. It's also winter as well, so basically I'll be showing you guys how I prep my skin and everything for winter. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share the video. Another thing as well, we just hit 100 subscribers, so that's my first milestone on YouTube, which is very weird because I'm just hitting it now, even though I've had my channel for like years. But I understand because I haven't been consistent. So it's very difficult to be consistent when you have like a job and things like that, you know, going on in your life and then trying to do YouTube at the same time. So the first thing, prepping my skin. I still use Cetaphil for my skin, so nothing has really changed. The only thing that has really changed is well, I don't know if it has changed from the last time I'm not even sure if I've ever done a skin routine before, but I just used coconut oil on my skin, so that way it doesn't lose any moisture, and that's why my face looks a bit oily. And the reason why I use coconut oil on my face, after doing some research, I found that it's like one of the few oils that doesn't clog your skin, and it helps with hyperpigmentation. Then I use a primer that isn't too dry, like I use a hydrating primer. I normally would use the Rima Beauty Undercover Lover one. This is the one I always use, and it lasts me throughout. But it's almost done, so it's almost finished. So I'm using the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is how it looks like, and I'll be putting that on my skin. Okay, so after doing that, next thing I'll be doing is to apply foundation. So as always, I use my Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade 330 Toffee Caramel. I'm not sure if that's my skin tone anymore, especially the fact that winter has come. Honestly, I haven't even checked my foundation. Like, I haven't checked my foundation shade in a very long time. So this probably hasn't been my shade in a very long while, so I just use other types of like makeup, like contour, all that, just to balance everything out so it doesn't look too obvious that it's not my shade. Because I don't know how these people are always like, I don't know how these other girls are like managed to, you know, change foundation every single weather that comes. So summer they will get a new foundation, spring they'll get a new foundation, and it's not even like as if getting foundation is like difficult to do. Like changing foundation or buying a new foundation is difficult to do, but I don't know, for me, I like using things till they're done. I hate wasting things. So you even find that like when something is not even my shade, I'll try to use it for something else. Like when something is not my shade, where it's like I can't even use other kinds of makeup to adjust it, I'll try to use it for other purposes. New routine, what I normally do now when I apply my foundation, I don't drag it. So I don't like drag it, I just tap, and that helps to create that skin-like finish. Yeah, because multiple times I would have people ask me like if I'm wearing foundation, unless I wear like the complete blush and everything, then they would know, okay, yeah, she's wearing makeup. And I actually messed up just now because I normally do my brows first before doing anything else. Well, because I was talking, I got distracted. Yeah, as you can see, it's a bit lighter than my body, but we'll adjust it later on. Anyways, the reason why I do my brows first is because I tend to use this it's like an eyebrow glue. It's called Refi, and this is how it looks like. It's called Refi, and it comes with like a brush on one end. So it comes with like a smaller brush on one end and then a bigger brush on the other end. I usually use this, well, I don't even know, I tend to alternate. So I tend to use the smaller brush just to have it make sure that it passes through the eyebrows, and then I use the bigger side to style it, I guess. And then the glue is like here, it's like a spoolie, and I just pass it through my eyebrows. Usually when I have time, I will do this one first and then use the brushes on it before going to the next brow. But usually, because this is my day-to-day routine, I usually just do both at a time and then quickly use the brush. Well, I'll start with the first brush and then pass it through, and I'm making sure I'm actually pressing it so it's like almost stuck to my skin. And this is why I don't do my brows after the foundation, because because it's glue, it tends to smudge the foundation. Okay, so then I'm using the brush, the bigger brush, just to shape it to the correct shape I want. I haven't waxed my eyebrows, so yeah. Actually, I think I use the bigger side to make sure it passes through. Yeah, because I don't always do my makeup, but when I do, it just comes naturally, so I have to really think about how I do it when explaining. And then I use the smaller side to shape it, and then I would go in with my eyebrow pencil. This is the Wet n Wild Kohl pencil, and it's in the shade Brown Now. Essentially, I just like to shape it. So yeah, like I would draw like a line across and under, and then fill it in. This isn't even my shade. This is the one that I normally use. It's the Essence pencil. Yeah, let me just go over what I did. So essentially, I just make like that straight line from the lower part of the brows. I just draw a straight line from here to the arch, like where the arch would be. And from the top, I just start from the middle, and then I pull it down all the way to where the arch would be. Depending on if I have time or not, I just fill in the parts where, like, you know, it's sparse, so where there's like not that much hair, so it looks as natural as possible. Because I'm going to use, and it doesn't have to be clean, because I'm going to use like a concealer to clean it up. The reason why I start from the middle, like at the top of the brow, is so it creates that natural line, and then I just brush it out. And speaking of which, we just hit 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and I'm so happy actually. Like, do you know how long I've been wanting to actually meet a YouTube milestone? And I finally did it. I've had the channel for years, and I'm just now hitting 100 subscribers. Only like just because I am not very consistent, as you all know. but I'm trying my best to be, honestly speaking. I'm actually trying my best to be. It's just that it's very difficult to be consistent when you have like a full-time job and, you know, crazy things go on in your life and things like that. So it can be very, very difficult actually. But I'm really trying my best to stay consistent, you know. And it's not really encouraging when, like, in the location I'm in right now, I'm the only one who is basically a YouTuber. So coupled with the fact that I'm an introvert, so I hardly even go out to begin with. So it's like, if not, I would have been bringing my camera along. But even then, even when I do have an activity to go to, filming in public is one thing I'm scared of doing. I don't know, it gives me so much anxiety, filming in public. So sometimes I have to resort to using my phone so that way I can actually like hide it, you know. Hopefully my eyebrows are not too dark. I feel like they look too dark because these eyebrow pencils are not very precise. So I just use them just to fill in the, it's very like, it has this very thick brush thing. So it's not like one of those like precise pencils. So now that that's done, I can go back to the foundation. Okay, so I always spray my brushes with like setting spray before I use them, so that way they're not so dry. So yes, I finally hit 100 subscribers, and to our new subscribers, thank you for joining. And I guess this is the motivation I needed, honestly, because like to be more consistent. Obviously, the reason why I'm just hitting 100 subscribers now is because I haven't really been consistent, but like for a while I was just feeling unmotivated because it was like, oh, okay, I haven't even reached at least 100 subscribers, talk less of like any other milestone. So hopefully this is the motivation I actually need to just keep going, and that way I can grow this channel to where it needs to be. For concealer, I use the Kosas concealer, and it's exactly my shade. So I chose one, well, not exactly my shade, it's close to my shade. So I chose one that's literally just one shade close to my, like one shade lighter than my skin tone as a concealer. So I have two concealers. Well, when I chose it, it was like one shade closer to my, or one shade lighter than my skin tone. I don't know what it is now because my skin tone tends to change. And I'll be using the wedged sponge. Normally I'll put it in the water, but I'm too lazy to stand up, so I just sprayed it with setting spray. Yeah, back to what I was saying. So yeah, I do understand that, like, obviously because I wasn't like putting in the work and being consistent and everything, if not, this channel would have been where I wanted to be. But yeah, it's very difficult, honestly. And then I always see people be like, oh yeah, I quit my job to be able to focus on YouTube full time. I don't know how people do that, honestly speaking. Like, what, I really don't understand it, because I don't know how people do that, because I mean, I wish I could do that, but I can't. Oh, by the way, the reason why I use the wedged sponge is because it has the angle, so it's able to hit every corner. And then using that same concealer, I'm using a flat brush, and I'm just going to use it to shape my eyebrows. Yeah, just to clean it up a bit, because I haven't waxed my eyebrows in a while. So normally I get them threaded, but you know, been busy, plus I haven't really had any activities to go or anywhere to go to where I really need to look decent, so I didn't bother. back to what I was saying. So basically, it was only just recently, I don't even know why or what happened, but it was only just recently that I started being more confident on camera. I'm not sure why, because the old me would not be able to keep up this chat or do a chit chat vlog, or not like do a chit chat makeup. That was why I preferred the whole, like, I do my makeup in peace and then I add the voiceovers after, so that way I can watch movies or just avoid talking for too long. The voiceover helped me deal with any if I got nervous, I could be able to adjust it and things like that and edit it to my liking. Usually for my foundation, I would like go over it with like a wet brush, like a wet beauty blender. But again, this is an everyday makeup, so if I don't have time, I'll just do that. And then my second concealer, I use the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. Okay. And I'm using the beauty blender, but I'm not using the same part I used to blend the other concealer. I'm using the clean part and just blending. Usually this concealer is very drying, so I usually have to work fast. Back to what I was saying. So yeah, I'm not sure how people, like, when I see people be like, oh yeah, I had to quit my full-time job to do YouTube full-time. I would love to do that, honestly speaking, but I don't know how people are going about it. Like, I don't know if they have money saved, or, you know, but then at the same time, I've seen people who are like struggling and so on and so forth, and I had to quit YouTube to I had to quit my full-time job to focus on YouTube full-time, because I was like, I can't keep doing this for the rest of my life. But then if you were struggling, how were you able to quit YouTube? And even if you were living with people or family members, it's like you still have phone bills. If you drive, you still have like insurance, you know, things like that, credit cards. So how are you able to maintain bills while doing that? You know, so I really don't know how people are really going about it, honestly speaking. So in the meantime, till I figure it out, I guess I'll just try my best to be as consistent as possible. Even if it's at least one video that I put out, at least that's okay. Like one video in a week that I put out, at least that's pretty consistent to me. Like, as long as I'm putting something out every week, I want to try and hold myself accountable, I guess, because that was actually my goal, to reach my, that was actually my dream, to actually meet my mark before the year, or my milestone, or a milestone regardless, before the year ran out. Next, I'll be using my powder. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter powder in the shade Banana. Well, this Christmas or this December period, instead of being the normal homebody that I normally am, I'm looking to actually go out a lot. I'm going to make it a goal of mine to go out a lot. Okay, I usually put the powder on the places that I just highlighted, so my nose, under my eye, and for this part, the sides of my nose, I basically try to shape it almost like I'm contouring, so that way it's easier when I do start contouring. And then because I have smile lines, or tend to get smile lines, I also put it around here as well. and then I smile. And push in the powder. And then I keep my face normal and then add more on top of where I just put the powder. I find that usually helps to get rid of my smile line. So while I'm waiting for this to set, I'll just be doing my contour. I'll just be contouring. Again, depending on if I'm in a rush, normally I would, like, if I have time, I would put a powder that is one shade closer to my skin tone, but I actually left it in Edmonton. Sorry, one shade darker than my skin tone. Yeah, so that's what I would normally put as the base first, for like as my bronzer, and then I'll put on the contour, or sometimes I'll just put the bronzer and that's it. That would be what I would use to contour. But I left that in what I normally use in Edmonton. So this is what I use now, just for contour alone. I just contour and that's it. This is in the shade, this is Maybelline Fit Me loose finishing powder in the shade 40 dark, and it's like this thing where you open and it looks like that. So I try not to use a lot because again, this is an everyday makeup. So I just use the very excess. Again, I'm tapping. I'm not dragging it. I'm just going to be tapping. And my jawline. And then I try to shape this part. Just to create that like more structured jawline, or chin, more structured chin. I would wipe off the excess. Okay, I can see how the nose is already, like, because of the way I put the or place the highlighting powder, it's technically already contoured. So that already gives me an outline on how I want to contour my nose. The brush I used was like a flat brush, and I like to go in with a smaller flat brush. I think they call it a kabuki brush. Yeah, just to take out any part I didn't get or any part I missed. And then I continue my contouring. Because the powder was in the way, I couldn't fully contour. But yeah, usually I contour while it's on there, just to pass time while the thing is baking. I'll use a stiffling brush. Again, I'm just tapping as well. I don't like to overly contour my nose. I just basically contour it to where it looks natural. And then I join it at the end. And I like having like this button nose type of aesthetic, so I basically just draw a line on the bridge of my nose. I think that's where they call it, I'm not even sure. I basically just make the outline, and then I just take a beauty blender and blend it out. I don't really use the brush to complete the contouring. Yeah, I find that it blends easier when I use a beauty blender. Next, I just use my brush. It broke, so I don't even know what the name was again, but I think it's somewhere on my YouTube channel when it was still whole. I just use my blush. I basically use these two shades. I just mix it together. Just mix the two of them together, and I use my fluffy brush. and then I put it on my nose as well, just to create the, since it's winter, I like the whole like I'm cold, or I have a cold fairy look. So I just put it on my nose just to create that effect. I use this spray to set my face. Before I used to put highlighter on the top of my, I don't even know what part they call it. I used to put it here, but I've started liking the whole aesthetic of just putting it on my nose, on top of my lips and my jawline, and that's it. So this is normally the look I would do if I wanted like that aesthetic look, but at the same time everyday look. But typically, to tone it down, I would use my powder. I would use my powder, my face powder, to go over the parts that's highlighted, so that way it's not too much. But sometimes I prefer this look for an everyday look as well. So I guess everyday look for everybody is different. For me, an everyday look, it depends on the day. Some days I feel like going a bit extra, and then like a little bit extra, not all the way. But other days I like keeping it completely natural and not anything that's, you know, it's too loud. So for my highlighter, I would use the Fenty Beauty How Many Carats. So some days it depends. Some days I would use the Fenty Beauty highlighter. Some days I'll just use this one, which is from the Colourpop eyeshadow. It gives off this natural glow. Again, today I'm feeling very wintry. I'll just put my hand on there and I'll put it on the tip of my nose, and then I'll use it to go down the bridge of my nose. And then my jawline. Yeah, I would also take a fluffy brush. So I like to shape my eye. Anything I do, I try to bring it up in this direction, so that way it doesn't, like that way it pulls my face, or that way it lifts my face. So first I would go like this, and then I basically just, like, not in any particular motion, just, you know, just till my eyelids are covered in it, but blended out as well, and it looks natural. And then when I get to the end, I just drag it out. And then for my lip liner, I use the CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow, and this is how it looks like. I just use it to line my lips. Lipstick, I'll be using the Forever 21 lipstick crayon. Essentially how I got it, this one was my friend in Alberta. Her apartment was giving out free makeup, only for her to call me and be like, oh, I know that you're coming to Edmonton soon, do you want me to get anything for you? I'm like, oh yes actually. I wanted some foundations, but then it was difficult telling her my shade or finding out my shade over the phone. So I just settled for lipsticks and lip glosses. And I found that this shade was really nice, especially when paired with my normal brown lip liner. And then I like going over it again with my lip liner. My mascara, I just use the Big Shot mascara. I'll show you guys in a second, but yeah, the way I do my lashes, I would do the front parts like normal, and then for the outside parts, just to make that whole like wispy look, I basically pull it out. So like, yeah, so that way it comes out like in cartoons. So this is the finished look. I understand that for some this may be like over the top, but I already gave tips on how to tone it down a bit. For the concealer part, instead of putting the lighter concealer on top as well, you could just stop at the one shade lighter concealer, and that would make it look more natural. But yeah, I know for some people like this is basically over the top, but for me it depends on what day, like, you know, it depends on the day or how I'm feeling. Some days I would go the more natural route, which is like I would stop at the one shade of concealer, the one shade lighter concealer, and not use the additional concealer. Or I would use the face powder to also go over the highlighted part. But then some days I feel like going a little bit over the top, but not all the way where it's too much. So sometimes for me, my everyday look that I'm feeling like could be where it's like kind of movie-esque look, like, you know how in movies you see like someone in the snow and everything with their nose like red, and but everything still looks natural. But at the same time, if you look at them, you could tell, like for someone who is into makeup, you could tell that there's makeup there, but it still looks natural. So some days I feel like going that route, which is basically today. And also because it's a winter everyday makeup look, so that's how it looks. That's why it looks like this. Like I was saying, I would try my best to be more consistent on YouTube. And again, for my additional followers, my additional subscribers, thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I hope you have a great day. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Bad guys. Soft work.